and the screeners going over the DVD of this amazing movie.
This fantastic film, which I feel kind of odd doing simply because it's clearly already written as a comedy. It's clearly not written as, just an action movie that happens to be a bit awful. It's written as a sort of comedy. And bits of it are kind of really good.
I know, some of the dialogue's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really quite funny dialogue. Some of it's just plain stupid. That bit where the woman comes in. This is about last night. You tried to rape me. That was last night. I'm a changed man.
Yeah, I'm a changed man. I woke up this morning. I took a shower in goodness. I also realised halfway through that we should probably have done Malibu Express first.
Why is that?
Because it's the prequel. It's the sequel. This is the sequel to Malibu Express.
Oh, is it?
I mean, not in strict plot, but that's why there's all the references to Malibu Express in this one.
Well, one of them has even got a fucking movie poster on it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous sex fest.
Yeah. But we can do Savage Beast instead.
Yeah.
Savage Beach and Do or Die, I think.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever.
We've got plenty to go along on anyway.
Yeah.
There's 12 films on here, isn't there?
Yeah, we could do all 12. 1 year ago in 2012, a crack duo, one martial arts expert and surprisingly good mimic, the other a weapons specialist and professionally bearded, were sent to separate recording stations thousands of miles apart to do an 80s and 90s action commentary podcast for a crime they happily committed. Something James Spader told them about that involved an industrial drum of coconut butter hand lotion and a common household whisk. These men promptly created a passion-filled wave of action adoration that swept throughout the internet underground. Today, still wanted by Steven Seagal for making one too many jokes about his expanding gut and knitted hair, they survive as podcasters of fortune. If you love action, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you should be listening to Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid commentaries. This podcast, people, explodes.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid commentary podcast. I am Dr. Action.
And I am Sir Kick-Ass Kidfordshire Ponsonby Smythe Smith Riddlebin Smythe Ponsonby, and this week's extraordinarily serious show in which we use real important film critiquing abilities to talk about an incredibly, well, what would you say, sir? One of the best films ever made. I think one of the, I mean, it's got to be in everybody's top 10.
I would certainly assume so. It's the 1986 Oscars. It was the hot favourite and should have took home every award, but it was overlooked by The Golden Child.
Yeah, a film so good the Queen knighted it, and the AFI have nominated it for the first time in 235 years of filmmaking. Better than Citizen Kane, which I think is the first time Citizen Kane's been knocked off the top spot. Quite right, too, as Citizen Kane is a big part of us, and this film is quite simply one of the best.
Yeah, it definitely has more tits than Citizen Kane. That is a fact.
It has at least 3.7 more tits.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't...
It was originally made, this film, in 1946.
1945, I think we'll find it, boy.
It got put back a year, you see, because of the war.
Right.
And what happened was, when they came back from the war, everybody decided that they really wanted to see an Andy Sidaris movie.
Yes.
What people didn't realise was Andy Sidaris isn't actually his name. His real name is John Ford.
Yes.
And after he'd go on to make The Searchers after Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And the reason why John Wayne made The Searchers was because he loved Hard Ticket to Hawaii so much. He loved all the pink nipples, you see.
Yes, he was a big fan of the pinkish nipples.
Yes, that's definitely true. I read it on Google.
Yes.
It was on Wikipedia, and the internet never lies.
Never.
Fact.
Never. Except that one time when it said that this podcast was second best podcast in the world. That's a lie. It's clearly the first. When it was voted second best, that was actually a typo.
Yes, it definitely was, because the thing is with our podcast, you see, we know a lot about movies.
We do.
We only tell the facts straight as Judy and Clary, as they say around where I live.
Right.
And we do like our movies. What we especially liked that one movie starring what was his name again?
Bing Crosby.
That's the one. Yes, Commando. I thought that was a rather good movie where he goes and gets his daughter back.
Yes.
Lovely film.
I like it, that bit in the original Hard Ticket to Hawaii, where Tyrone Power and Fred Astaire are running on the beach, only to come across a bronzed and wanton Jane Mansfield, who is eating a large lollipop seductively. She's dressed from head to toe in a thick, rough Hessian boiler suit. She's wearing a bag on her head and thick mittens, oven mitts, and workman's boots. Even so, for the Hays Code of the day, this was still too revealing, and the film was given an X certificate.
That's damning on a film in 1946. You couldn't cope with an X-rated movie, but Andy Sidaris, John Ford, didn't give two shits.
No.
But he was, because he was ahead of his time. You see,
He was.
He was ahead of his time. Yeah. He invented the dildo.
He did. He called his Jean Harlow, or as he likes to call her now, Jean Dildo.
Yes, that's right. Yes, lovely fella.
He would often, at the Oscars of the times, bend over and let everyone see his Lucille balls.
Yes. His chocolate starfish was always on show at the Oscars.
Yes. He said, "Dorothy Lamour, get an eyeful of this, you old cow." And he would let rip right into the front row. It was quite remarkable, coating them all in whatever he'd had for lunch. Most of it ham.
Was a big fan of sweet corn.
Yes. So, Doctor, what have you been watching this week? Let's do, everybody, it's Dr. Action the Kick-Ass Kids Week in Action.
I went to the cinema to see Riddick. That was fucking awesome.
Which is weird, because I was cured of Riddick in 1973 after a spring break that I'd spent with some sailors.
Yeah, mine came back on Friday night. I had cleared it up, but I got a case of the Vin Diesels again.
Lovely. My wife, Chlamydia, she said that really, if it ever came back again, she would divorce me, because it would mean that I would be unfaithful. Of course, I would never be unfaithful to Chlamydia. She's one of my favourite all-time women, better even than Doris Day or Carol Lombard.
Or Carol Vorderman.
I'll have a pee, please, Bob.
Oh, I'll have a shop on those references. Yeah, Riddick, really good.
Give us the Dr. Action rundown of Riddick, sir.
They've gone back to... Have you seen Pitch Black?
No.
No, it's after Pitch Black, then Chronicles of Riddick, not Chronicles of Narnia.
No.
They've sort of gone back to the sort of basics of Pitch Black. It's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Lovely.
Very nice film.
Very nice. Any others to report, sir, since last we spoke?
Oh, I think there is. I just can't remember. Obviously, I watched Hard hard ticket to Hawaii. What's that?
Oh, that's my favourite song of all time.
Yeah, that's been in my head all fucking day.
Yeah, it's. I believe Schubert wrote it.
I can well believe it. Sang by E17.
Yeah,
a very popular band in the 90s in England.
It was. Do you know E17? This is true. Came and played at my high school in England because a girl at our school jokingly entered a contest and won. They came to our school and halfway through their set, which was only 3 songs and lip-synced to a boombox, I'm not even kidding, halfway through their set, they had to be turned off and asked to leave the theatre because we were all laughing and shouting at them so much. The joke was, right, she won this contest, they came to our school, we were forced by the headmaster and the teachers and everything to be at the concert, even though we didn't want to go. Like a song and a half in, we're all making so much noise and whatever that they're cleared off the stage. The deputy headmistress comes on and says, E17 will not continue performing for you today because you have been so disrespectful of our honoured guests. True story. True story.
How could you do that to E17?
Easily.
You should have asked them to stay another day.
Although I have to say, Brian Harvey brought some fucking great drugs with him. Kept us high for the next 6 weeks. Passed my GCSEs that way.
Oh, he's not a diva. He was a dealer.
My week in action, if anybody fucking cares.
Yeah, go on. Tell us what you've watched.
I'm kidding. Tell us what you've won. Well... Our action rundown today. Badge of the Assassin to be covered on the Aftermovie Diner this week. That Man Bolt I watched, another Kevin Williamson film. The Hammer goes to Hong Kong and does some action in a kind of Bond style. But I wanted to mention That Man Bolt because his character, a courier, is very akin to Statham's character in The Transporter by Luc Besson. So it's kind of a precursor to the Transporter series. But That Man Bolt, check it out if you get time. Then I watched, to continue the Kevin Williamson trend, I watched Original Gangsters with him and Jim Brown and Pam Grier and the whole bit. Superfly's in there as well. I liked Original Gangsters more than That Man Bolt. I thought Original Gangsters was great. I would like to cover it on the show.
Okay, well, it's on YouTube, isn't it?
At some point. It's bloody good. Bloody good. And directed by, what's his face, Cohen. I forget his first name now.
It was a Coen Brothers movie.
No.
Awesome, I'll watch that then.
I love the Coen Brothers. I can never remember this fucking guy's name. Yet he's done some of my best movies, some of my favourite movies. I'm serious, I can never remember his name.
Larry Cohen.
Larry Cohen, that's it. Oh,
Maniac Cop.
Yeah, and It's Alive.
Yeah.
And God Told Me To.
Yeah.
And
Q the Winged Serpent, did he do
Q
that?
the Winged Serpent, yes he did. Phone Booth he wrote. Cellular with Jason Statham in it. He directed Return to Salem's Lot, The Stuff.
Stuff's good.
Yeah, but he also did Original Gangsters, and I loved it. Richard Roundtree shows up in it. Paul Winfield.
Oh, Captain. What was his name? Captain Terrell.
What?
Is that the guy? Is that the guy from Star Trek 2? Paul Winfield.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And also the Terminator, of course.
Yes. Yeah. But Star Trek 2 is better.
Yes, indeed. It's got Ron O'Neill in it. So it's got Superfly, Shaft.
I'm looking at it now. It's got some great people in it.
Yeah, Robert Forster shows up briefly. Charles Napier, Wings Hauser. But don't hold that against it. It's a good movie.
And Linda Bright Clay. She's my favourite.
What? Favourite what?
Just favourite.
What, above Pam Grier?
Yeah, if you want. She's in Seven Psychopaths.
She is.
She is. Isn't she Christopher Walken's wife?
Wow. She's only been in 5 things, and yet in one of them, she's married to me. It's amazing. I love it. Who knew that would come up today to give me an excuse to be here? It's crazy. Who knew? Thank you, Baba. Great. You're beautiful. I love you. Yes. And that's what I said to her when I saw her on set.
But it shagged though.
Oh, I bet it did. Right in the face.
I'm gonna come on your tits now.
So, yeah, what else did I watch? Oh, fuck, I've just shut the webpage. Tits Alive, I've just shut the webpage. What else did I watch? I watched The Sea Wolves, dear boy.
Oh, this is very nice.
Yes, with Gregory Peck, David Niven, and a lot more.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's what I watched this week in terms of action films.
Very nice. Good little list. I'm going to have to go and check out Original Gangsters, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think next time we do our Blaxploitation Month, whenever that is, I want to put Original Gangsters in the roster.
Done.
That's
been adjudicated, and that's going to be on the list.
And confirmed.
Yes.
Adjudicated and ejaculated. That's the way we do things here on Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid.
Yeah, it's the way we've always done them, and it'll never change.
It'll never, ever change.
We hold the DVD cover in front of us. If we both masturbate on it at the same time, it's done. We're watching it.
Now, I think we should hand over the running of our Facebook page to Chris Taylor, because by God, the man has been busy with posts on our... He's given us all kinds of news that otherwise we would have forgotten about. We've got Rambo, the video game, that's coming out. What is your feeling, sir, on that?
I've not been playing a lot of computer games at the minute, so I mean, I'll probably get it, because it's Rambo.
See, I tried to play the Expendables 2 computer game on an Xbox 360 demo, and I couldn't get to grips with it. It was a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I mean, Mad Max's game's coming out. I'd like to play that. So maybe I should start that. I'm just not a gamer. I'm just not really a gamer.
No. I would play it if it's just a simple shoot 'em up. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if I can get to sort of run around, if I could do the own voice, why didn't they ask me to do the voice?
Yeah, why didn't they? Has Stallone done the voice? Did we figure out?
I don't know.
Huh. Why didn't you look into it?
I should do, shouldn't I?
Yeah, dropping the ball right there, sir.
Yeah.
And he's also been listing, Chris Taylor, all the movies that are remotely action-related that will be screening on British television.
It's nice of him, isn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah, I love it.
Every day there's a new post by him. It's good. Sending us links, posting on the page.
I liked it when he told us he was reporting on Dwayne Johnson being the fall guy when he said that he was more of an A-Team man way back in the day, because... I mean, if it wasn't for the A-Team, I wouldn't be doing the show, I have to say.
Yeah, you're a big A-Team fan, aren't you?
Oh, biggest. It's my favourite TV show of all time. There are other TV shows that I admire greatly, but nothing beats the pure action simplicity of the A-Team for me.
The A-Team is good. It is classic.
It is. It is fantastic. The RoboCop trailer came out this week. What a pile of arse that looks.
That's going to be so amazing. I like it how he has a one-to-one with his wife.
Yeah, no.
And she tries to appeal to his human side. Oh, it looks shit.
Do you know the bit I liked? I liked the bit where they had him in the original RoboCop costume and someone looked at it and went, nah, how about we make it black and stupid looking like a big shiny cock?
Oh, I'm so disappointed in that they've even thought, but it's money in it, fucking twats.
But yeah, that looks like a big old pile of arse. And, but not the only exciting thing that premiered this week, because premiering this week was Dr. Action, the Kick-Ass Kid's own take on The Untouchables, that French film from France that we all loved so much.
I'm amazed that we got them to actually do it for us, do the voices.
They do the voices, and they did the blue screen capture for it. The where they have the ping pong balls and they have to wear a giant condom.
Yeah, they were good lads. Good lads coming in and doing that for us. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we just bought in. He bought one Twix, gave them a stick each.
Yeah.
They were happy. They were happy.
Which was odd because I had a 4-fingered Kit Kat all to myself.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Yeah, fuck it.
I had a chunky Kit Kat.
Wow. Who would have known that they could take a simple confection like the Kit Kat? It's a beautiful thing, the 4 fingers. Make it big. Make it chunky. Beautiful. Love it. Boo-boo. I love it. Great. But yeah, go over to our YouTube page and check out the Intouchables, our very own Dr. Action Intouchables. And in fact, I've been updating the YouTube page all week with that information. Yep. And you know what I also put on our YouTube page?
Space Tracks.
Sorry?
Space Tracks.
No, that's up on the After Movie Diner YouTube page. But on our YouTube page, I put up Ninja Shadow of a Tear, the new trailer by Scott Adkins.
Sir Scott Adkins.
Sir Scott Adkins of Atkinsshire, yes.
Looks good.
So
anything with Scott Adkins looks good.
Yeah, but I put that on our official YouTube page through Digital Trickery. Basically, I downloaded it off YouTube and then re-uploaded it to us.
Nice.
That way, we get all the hits and we get to advertise our show a little bit.
Nice.
I
like what you've done.
Yeah.
I like you, kid. You're going to go far.
You're going to go far in Hollywood. There's one of those characters in this movie that we're doing tonight, Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
He sits down and he says, I'm not one of those fast-talking New York producers. But he is. He is one of those.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He's a dirty old pervert.
And I've also heard that Mickey Rooney is now in Expendables 4. Fact.
Excellent. We've done that, have we?
Yeah, Stallone tweeted it this week.
That's good. Oh, let me get a Mickey Rooney.
Yes, Mickey Rooney and Bing Crosby in the same movie. It's going to be great.
We've already got 13 views on the Ninja Shadow of a Tear trailer.
We have indeed. It looks. I have to say, it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's quite Atkins, isn't it?
And Isaac Florentine, the original director.
Yeah. How many hits we had on Deadly Ground? 310.
Nice. And what else? There was one other thing. Oh, yeah. Homefront photographs came out this week. And
that's going to be awesome.
Are on the Dr. Action website right now as we speak.
Chris Taylor put them up. No picture of his cock, lad.
No, but he does ride a big horse. Statham.
I thought you meant Chris Taylor.
Oh, no. No, he's afraid of horses.
Is he? Why is that him?
Never met him. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's going to be a good film, I think. Homefront. How many films that we're going to have with Statham in this year? It's good, isn't it?
4 this year, if you count Fast 6.
Yeah. Bloody good, isn't it?
We've had Parker, Fast 6, Redemption, and now Homefront. And then next year we have Heat, Expendables 3, and Fast 7.
Fucking brilliant. Hardest working man in Hollywood.
Indeed. There was a great... I didn't put it on the website because I couldn't find a way to kind of fit it into what I was saying, but there was a great bit in the interview with the director, Gary Fleder, who did Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, as well as Runaway Jury. He said, because when asked about Statham doing an American accent, he did that great old chestnut that's become the director's thing to say now if working with Statham. He said, shut up. He said, oh, look, Jason can do an American accent. Of course he can do an American accent, but we wanted him concentrating on the character, not the accent. So what we've done is we've made him a DEA agent by way of British Interpol, which doesn't work, but I love it anyway.
Yeah, well, if he just say he can't, he can do it. Yeah, he can do it. He's not very good.
Right. It's just a bit shit.
People just don't give a shit. He could have come over when he was 12.
Right.
Couldn't he? I'm knocking a bird off over here, so I'm going to come and live in America and I might work for the DEA. Do what you want, mate. Just don't hit me.
Yeah.
Fine.
He could have become an American citizen.
Of course he could.
A citizen. This is a land of immigrants anyway. Why can't he have a British accent? Look, Sean Connery played a Russian U-boat captain with a thick Scottish accent. Let's not question the glory that is taken.
Highlander.
Yeah.
My name is Ramirez. I'm Spanish.
Yes, I'm Spanish, don't you know? And wait a minute, aren't you meant to be a Scotsman? Why do you sound like a froggy? Because, in that movie, which is fucking bizarre, the Frenchman plays the Scotsman and the Scotsman plays the Spaniard.
Yeah. Hollywood in the 80s, always doing coke.
And you know... That was the official tagline. They had it written up underneath the Hollywood sign from 1980 through to 1989. Hollywood, always doing coke. But I think it looks a bit like Safe meets the Mechanic meets Parker. I think that's the vibe it's going to be. It's not necessarily going to be classic Staith, but it's not going to be weak sauce either. I think it's going to have something for everyone to enjoy, and Kate Bosworth.
Yeah, well, I think you just got to put it like this. It's going to be fucking times better than fucking RoboCop, so...
Yeah. It's going to be better than the Carrie remake and the RoboCop remake. How do I know? Because they're both big piles of shit. Fact.
Yeah, fact. Oh, I know. I went to see Kick-Ass 2 as well.
How was it, sir?
I enjoyed it.
Huh. I haven't been able to see it because I have no money. I've been banned from the cinema at this point.
Just sneak in.
Because I have no money. So I can't get in, unfortunately. But we'll wait and see. When it comes out on demand, I'll watch it, I'm sure.
It's good. It's good.
But yeah,
not as good as the first one, but it was all right. It's good.
The only thing that worries me about Homefront is Kate Bosworth, because I really hate her. But it's fun how she's playing a strung-out junkie, because she never eats anything. She is painfully and uglily thin.
I can't even remember what I've seen in it.
She's in the twatty Superman film. The Superman film that was even... it's less twatty than the new Superman film, but it's more twatty than the original Superman films.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, bug-eyed, big four-headed, skinny, alien-looking wench. Not like some of the strumptuous beauties that are on display in Hard Ticket to Hawaii. That I can assure you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it says that about her being a strung-out strumpet on her IMDb page.
It does,
It's her speciality, apparently.
But yeah, it's going to be great. It's written by Stallone, and you can't really fail when it's written by Stallone.
Not really. It's all good.
And produced by the team behind The Expendables and Safe, Boaz Davidson and people like that.
Lovely.
It's going to be great. That's about it, sir, I think, for news. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. I'm just checking. No. Great. Absolutely. So shall we watch this masterpiece?
Yep, starring Hedy Lamarr and Dolores Del Rio. Coming to you now on Dr. X, the Kick-Ass Kid. We've got Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And I'm working off the YouTube video just because I couldn't be bothered to get the DVD out.
Lazy bastard. Right, I'm watching the film.
Which means I have to fast forward through the Andy Sidaris intro.
Right, okay.
In which it's quite funny because he says to the woman that's with him, he goes, "Oh look, she can read and everything."
He seems like a good character. I wonder if we could... I tell you what, let's get him on for the special. He's still alive.
Do you reckon he would come on the show?
I don't know. Is he alive?
Oh, I don't think so, no.
If he's not alive, he definitely won't come on it.
I think we've got more chance to get him if he's dead. Yeah, he died in 2007.
Son of a bitch. Forget it. Don't worry. We won't get him on.
What's some of his history?
I should have known that because I listened to the episode on What's It About It. Badasses, boobs and driving.
He did all the sports stuff back in the 60s and 70s, made his money, and then made some movies with tits in it.
You liked them. You liked tits.
He was all about the mammary glands.
He was the what's it director in it, wasn't he? He's the actor. He was a fan of mammary glands. I think he was.
Mill Creek Entertainment is now following me on Twitter, thanks, I think, in part to my tweeting about Hard Ticket to Hawaii, because they released the 12-disc box set.
They certainly did.
So
hopefully they'll put it out then.
Yeah, the commentary? I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Why wouldn't you? That's what I want to know.
Everybody should have commentary wires.
Yeah. Everybody's life. We should just follow people around and whisper in their ear some little commentary nuggets.
Don't go in the house. That kind of shit.
Yeah, don't go in the house. That's exactly what I think we should say to people.
Right then. Let's.
I'm right at the beginning with the black screen just before the logo comes up for the. What's his company name again?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm on the trees bit because it's gone straight into it. You ready? All right. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Hello, and you join us here today for the Malibu Express. No, that's wrong. For the Hard Ticket to Hawaii commentary. Specifically for the AFI and BFI Film Institutes combined. We're going to be discussing this classic and laying down some facts. With me in the commentary box is Dr. Action himself, Sir Paulson Crowson, Squires.
Hello. How are you?
How are
it's
you?
lovely to be back here and to be talking about a movie of this then as well. I'm honoured to even be asked.
Of this calibre, yes. Of course, Dr. Paulson Crowson Squire comes complete from the University of Stanford's Oxford and Cambridge, where he attended combined degrees in filmology, film criticism, and breasts. So, first of all, what do we make of these two? Some of the best actors of their generation.
Absolutely. First-class acting, especially you see the way she's holding the cup.
Yes.
There's nothing in the cup.
No.
And she makes it look like there's something rather warm in there. You
Yes.
have to put it down, you see.
I like the fact that they've gone to their local shop and bought matching towels.
It's what... Ooh.
Oh,
It's,
yes, she has matching breasts, one on either side, which is fantastic. Now, he looked surprised when she pulled his towel off, but he's actually wearing trunks, so not sure why the surprise.
Because he's got no penis.
Oh, I see.
Cut off in a freak lawn-mowing accident.
Now,
Still got a nub in there, but...
And you did a second semester course on his lack of penis, didn't you?
I did, yes. It was an awful story, but it didn't stop him. That's the thing. That's the thing I like about this guy. It didn't stop him from making the movie.
Yes,
I like the way their socks are pulled up as well.
Yes, I did a thesis on the way their socks were pulled up. Just an independent one. It wasn't for university or anything, but I was so fascinated by it that I thought, why not? Put it out there. Do you know that thesis has been downloaded by Oxbridge candidates 58,000 times? So it just shows you that the enduring quality of this film. And
it has a very broad appeal.
Yes.
I know it's the Queen's favourite movie, and she watches it every Christmas.
She has it on VHS, Laserdisc, and 8-bit cylinder, which is rare now. Rare, very rare.
In fact, she's such a fan that straight after this film was made, she begged Andy Sidaris for a cameo in his next film, and he obliged.
Yes, well, he directed the Queen's Speech one year. It was the controversial topless year, never to be repeated.
In 3D?
Yes.
Lovely.
Look at these fellas here. Shades, mustache, and big man. Of course, they would go down in the annals of cinema, some of the greatest actors America has ever produced.
Oh, yes.
Look at the violence, the raw grittiness. Sam Peckinpah took a lot of pointers from this movie. I remember giving an interview with Mr. Peckinpah after this film was released, and he said, you know what, my career may be praised by some of the greatest critics in the world, but as far as I'm concerned, having seen this film, I failed miserably. That's an exact quote. I'm
not surprised.
Look, she's
not surprised.
Donna Spear forgot to put an extra N in her name. That's, in fact, her family have been doing that for generations, actually, forgetting to put N's in their name. Her dad, Ronald, had an incredible difficult time spelling his name, ended up as Roald, and, of course, went on to make some wonderful children's books.
Yes, absolutely. I like the fact that all these boxes appear to have the actors' names on.
That's fortuitous. That's very fortuitous. It just so happens that the actors had all gone home and had all asked for certain things to be shipped back to them, such as wigs.
If you've got it, use it.
Wigs,
that's what I say.
Nipple wax, that kind of thing, in large quantities. And Sidaris obliged and took the opportunity to film this, I think, revolutionary title sequence.
Yes. Rustam Brandman's not even in it.
It was my understanding that after watching this, George Lucas considered a similar technique for Star Wars.
Yes.
But unfortunately he had so much text, he had to go with a scrolling caption rather than all these boxes. Otherwise, 2/3 of the film would have just been boxes. Peter Bromelow, of course, a good friend of ours from the UK. He's up there with, Sir Lawrence and...
Sir Lawrence of the Olivier.
Yes, of the Oliviers.
The greatest acting mind of our times.
And, of course, Peter Bromelow, good friend of Kenneth Branagh.
Yes. What a lovely man. I had dinner with him the other night, actually.
Yes.
He wishes to be remembered to you, sir.
He does. Thank you. Yes. That's wonderful. Yes, no, Peter...
Avid listener to the show. Loves the action. Loves the tits.
Yes. Well, Bromelow is a fan of the mammary glands from way back, of course. He appeared as third tit in The Woman with Three Tits from 1957. Back then, of course, there weren't any women with three breasts, so they had to substitute it by putting Bromelow's bald head in the middle and having him constantly sat under her dress.
Yes, the third tit was usually imported from Japan, where they made them ahead of their time, I'd say.
A tit of their time, you could say, looking at it. Now that's just clumsy. What he's done there is tearing the plastic sealant off a dangerous snake box. I wonder if this will play a part later in the film. It's a wonderful example of, look at that special effect. Look at that right there. That's fantastic. That's the best special effect I've seen all week.
That actually is, remember Emu?
Yes.
That's Emu.
That's Rod Hull, is it? Rod
Hull's hand, yes. He was sick and tired of Emu at that time, and he took up that role. Very challenging, but he did it.
He did. Of a cancer and AIDS riddled snake. Why not? Why not, indeed?
Here she is.
Here she is, Meryl Streep, one of the finest actresses of her generation. And here she is, her sister, Betty Streep. Oh, she just dropped something. That was careless. That was careless right there. What's interesting is that Donna Spear's character, Donna Hamilton, remembered both her ends. whereas Donna Spear only one N. Of course, that was part of my second thesis, only one N, which awarded me the Nobel Thesis Prize in 1989. And look at the costumes. Look at this right here, the utility belt. Very, very useful. The wonderful khaki cut-off arms. Very, very breathable fabric.
And what they're for, you see, it's to blend in with the background.
It's perfect.
Forget the open top cleavage. Forget the blonde hair.
Yes.
And the bronze skin. They just melt into the background.
They're just normal. They're just like you and me, really, at the end of the day.
Well, some say that this film was based on us and our experiences.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the roles because our tits are not big enough.
No. They've also got slightly more upper lip hair than us. But truly remarkable acting. I haven't seen anyone take a bag out of the back of a Jeep since Gloria Swanson in Sunset Boulevard, of course. And here we are, back to the boxes.
Back to the boxes.
The infamous box scene that Ingmar Bergman was so fond of. He reshot this in black and white with some dreary Swedish music over the top of it and won several awards in his native country of Bolivia.
Honolulu.
Yes. Now, what they've done there, you see, as I was saying earlier, they've carelessly taken off the caution banners on a snake. And this is one of the examples of foreshadowing, which happen. In fact,
Chekhov's gun. If you show it, use it.
Yes.
So we already know that snake is going to play a prominent part in the film.
I like that Michael Caine waved his fee to be in this film. Look at him there. It was this and Jaws 4 that would later make Michael Caine...
It was a combination of Michael Caine and Woody Allen working together on Hannah and her sister. Woody Allen did a bit of script doctoring on it.
Yeah.
And he said Michael Caine is perfect for the role of the controlman.
Of the guy who's... Yes.
Yeah, he could borrow my glasses.
Yes.
And that's what he did. He went straight out there to film this. Woody Allen came with him, and he was on set apparently every day.
Look at this here. The lady exhibiting her technical know-how and engineering skill on the plane. Every single thing that she's doing here took her years to learn.
She's a method actress. That's what you're forgetting, Kick-Ass Kid.
Yes.
A method actress.
10 years in flight school, 10 years in engineering training camp, and 3 years at the Los Alamos School for Cowboy Boots.
Yes.
Yes. Where she learned all about...
I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in, so I salute her.
And weirdly, you salute her without putting any hands up. You're able to do it free with just the penis.
Yes, absolutely. I need somewhere to put my beer.
Yeah. And look at this. The excitement now. Obviously, some people may be watching this today and think, you know what? Planes taking off, factories full of boxes. I don't see where the excitement is. However, back when this was released in the heat of the 80s...
In IMAX,
it was quite literally one of the most pants-soilingly exciting sequences that film had ever seen.
Oh, I remember sitting at the LA Convention Center in the IMAX cinema, me and you.
Yes.
Oh, we were bloody blown away by it.
Yes. You were blown away and hit the back of the auditorium, and I was so much on the edge of my seat that I fell off the mezzanine into the orchestra pit.
Yes, I do. I like to take a cheap call girl into the cinema with me, especially when I'm seeing an Andy Sidaris film.
Yes.
It gives you extra, I feel.
It's almost like 4D.
Yes.
When you have a lady present watching an Andy Sidaris film, especially if she's feeling up your bit between your balls and your arsehole.
Yeah. And the greatest song ever.
Oh, will you look at that? Those mountains with that water running down in between looks a lot like a vagina.
It looks like the vagina of She-Hulk.
Yes, either She-Hulk or Mother Nature herself. The creamy essence of Mother Nature's love filling up the anal crevice of the mountain in quite a spectacular way.
I do love mountain vulva.
Now you can tell here in this shot that's coming up, the zoom-in shot, that they are actually really factually accurately flying the plane, showing just where all those flight lessons and engineering skills come into play in a film like this.
Yes. That camera wasn't really available, ahead of its time.
Yes. Well, Andy Sidaris invented it. This music, I mean, let's speak a little bit about the music. Written and performed by Harry Manfredini, and of course the wonderful composing skill of Brahms and Bach, who actually co-worked on the score. The only time the two great composers ever worked together. But
they said that they'd only worked together on this movie.
Yes. When Hard Ticket to Hawaii came out in the opera houses of Vienna, there were riots.
They'd never heard anything like it, you see. It's just pure bloody beautiful.
Yes. I believe that when your children were christened, the choir sang it.
Oh, yes, they were. They were. I wept a single mantis.
Yes.
From my cock.
Yes. I remember Betty Hutton did the same thing back in 1921. There we go, we're learning the plot point. The snake is contaminated. What I like here is that Sidaris very cleverly leaves what the snake is contaminated with until later to reveal. So
you did point out in your thesis that you thought it was rabaids,
yes.
A combination of rabies and AIDS.
Yes.
That he got from an African monkey.
Yes. Well, actually, I said I think it was Ray baby AIDS, which is where you get rabies and AIDS in a baby.
Yes. And the snake ate it, contracted it, and it became and it's real. It's based on a true story.
Oh, it is.
Not a lot of people know about that.
No, in reality, the snake was cured of the disease and became Minister for Overseas Development between the years of 1975 and 1978.
Very deserved as well, and he's still doing a wonderful job to this day.
Edward Heath tells a moving story about the time that he vomited all over Thatcher's lap in his one-man show.
Yes. I've been seeing that show a few times now. I'll tell you what, there's a bit to pick up every single time you see it.
Oh, you can't keep your pants on. Oh, you can't.
Oh, no,
they have to come off, and you have to have a jolly good rub.
Yes.
Now, this scene, he's using, obviously, the latest Panaflex lenses to get this clarity and this vibrancy of colour. I mean, look at the depth of field in this. I really don't think that any of the top directors of their day, Orson Welles, of course, or Hitchcock, could make any better, do any better.
I'm talking about Alfred Hitchcock. Here he is.
Yes, here he is. Well, this is his son, Bertie Hitchcock. And I believe that your friend and mine, Joss Ackland, studied this film for months before taking the role in Lethal Weapon 2.
Well, he dedicated his role in Lethal Weapon to this movie.
Yes.
And you can see why, because it's a masterclass.
Yes.
Masterclass of acting.
Definitely. Him and obviously the aforementioned, what was his name? Bromelo, obviously attended the same cravat warehouse in Savile Row in London.
What people don't realise about the cravat is it's an actual cravat. You see a cravat in most films, and there's a little clip round the back.
Yeah.
Because not many people can put a cravat on. He studied for 35 years.
Yes, entirely for this role. Yes, the script had been around that long.
It's one of those films that, can we get it made? Can we not get it made?
Yes.
Sat around for ages until Andy Sidaris said, I've got the balls.
I've got the balls, I've got the money, I've got the wherewithal, and I know a few strumpets willing to run around with their tartars out. That's an exact quote And it's now engraved outside the Man's Chinese Theatre.
Yeah, I have it tattooed on my buttocks.
Nice. Nice. Yes, it was one of those that script spent a lot of years going round and round the Hollywood system. And it wasn't that they didn't like it. They loved it. They just weren't sure how to market it. They weren't sure what the film was about. They didn't know what Sidaris was trying to say.
We were going through a time where you'd put on a movie poster, greatest movie ever, and people would say, well, that's just marketing, it's just gimmicky. They didn't realise that when it was put on the poster for this, it was complete and utter truth.
It was.
Complete and utter truth. It's at 0 on IMDb, so it's above 1. The Shawshank Redemption hasn't got shit on this.
No.
Even Tim Bobbins himself says, if we had to count the number 0, it's Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And he actually auditioned for the role of this blonde man with the silly trousers.
I was going to say that actually these two guys here, Mustache and Big Man, are actually what Morgan Freeman and Timothy Bobbins based their performances on.
Absolutely correct, yes. It took absolute willpower for him to not turn around at that precise moment and say, "End of the frame."
Yeah, well, there was a whole sequence shot at the end of this where Big Man is polishing his boat, and along comes Moustache and they hug, and then they fuck in the arse.
Yeah, because I love the deleted scene. Just going off topic of the Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I love the deleted scene from Shawshank Redemption when it turns out that the guy who bums Andy Dufresne is Morgan Freeman's character.
Yes.
Lovely reveal.
Lovely reveal.
Oh, this thing weighs a ton. Yeah, this is heavy, all right.
Yes, you see, here they are, the actresses commenting on the weight of the snake. This is important exposition. One needs to know exactly how heavy the snake is in order to get the full benefit
and
of
you do find all that information from a child's book.
Well, I do. Look at this. It's incredible, really, it is, that this guy would go on to work on such greats as Godzilla and Anaconda. And when they made Anaconda, they simply said, "Get me Hard Ticket to Hawaii. If I want to see a film about a snake, I have to learn from the best." Yes. It's got so many elements as well, this film, really.
It was either this or a John Holmes movie.
I think that...
Boy, I tell you, after a day like today...
Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just going to say, you watch a film about a large python, it's John Holmes or it's Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yes.
And I think it was the snake's brother that starred in Anaconda.
Yes,
it could never hit the heights of this, though.
No, of course not. Look at that dress. Of course, some of the best costume design.
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Yes. Well, this was actually
Marks and Spencer.
Yes, they did. They did some phenomenal work with it, and this was up against Cleopatra for best costumes of all time, and of course this won.
This did win, and Cleopatra said that Andy Sidaris, here he is now, Andy Sidaris, the great man, he cheated and he paid, under the table to get the rights, to win. It's not true. It's just pure bloody brilliant.
It is. This is the practical rapist Andy Sidaris is playing. It's a very difficult character, very dark character. He's the TV producer who likes tits and practically raped our main actress last night.
That was last night, and that was how Hollywood was then.
Yes, whatever you did the night before was completely and utterly forgiven and forgotten the very next morning. Just ask Patty Duffick.
Because Andy Sidaris came up with the line, and it's true, tomorrow is another day.
It is. My favourite line he has, though, is, "I'll have two pairs of coffee, please." I like that a lot.
Snazzy dress.
Now look at these trousers. I have 7 pairs, very similar myself. I donated them to a golfing orphans charity. It's a wonderful charity. It's set up in Buckinghamshire, where they give orphans who like to golf highly coloured clothing.
Yes, it's run by Nick Faldo, and he's a gentleman and a scholar. Does a lot for the children, you know. Patron saint, of course, is Jimmy Savile.
Yes.
Rolf Harris. They're always at the events, they are.
I remember when some impertinent journalist asked him at a press conference, wouldn't it be better to give the orphans, I don't know, a roof over their head or some food? And he said, no, golf, it's where it's at. If you don't understand that, you'll never understand life. And then I think he hurled
You have to aim for something.
He does.
And you should aim for being a golfer.
He hurled a large bowl of tapioca pudding all over the journalist and stormed out.
Good on him.
Look at the diamonds on display here. The gems aren't much better either. Look at this right now. She said earlier in the film that she does her best thinking in the jacuzzi, which we're very much the same, aren't we?
We are. We're recording this from a jacuzzi right now.
Yes, I have 3 jacuzzis in my house, one in the living room, one in the office, and one in the jacuzzi room. It's so called the jacuzzi room because I have a spare jacuzzi in there just in case the other 3 run out.
You can never have too many.
It's true, actually. Jackie Chan says the same thing. You can never have too many jacuzzis. And talking about Jackie Chan, he trained both of these legendary martial artists. Look at them right here. There's nothing racist about the noises and the things that they're doing or saying at all.
Well, no, because they're 1/100th Chinese.
Yes.
I like the fact that Steven Seagal watched this movie and he immediately knew what look he wanted.
Look at this. Look at this. He's an expert in dialects, this man. He's able to speak so many different languages. We just heard him speaking Chinese. And that wasn't at all offensive in any way at all. It was perfectly normal to do that kind of accent back in the 80s.
Yes, well, Mickey Rooney was on set to give him the...
give him the benefit of the doubt.
Give him the benefit of the doubt, but also to coach him.
Yes.
You know, he knows how to play a Chinese man.
Look at this here. This is the cameo by Walter Pidgeon. Fantastic actor, of course, from Forbidden Planet. And just does a fantastic job as the delivery man who sends a sandwich. Of course, nowadays, there was some environmental rights activists who claimed that the polystyrene container the sandwich was delivered in was non-biodegradable and would cause irreparable harm to the ground. But then with the 80s, that's how it was. That was just the way it was.
What happened? I remember at a screening of this, that person you mentioned, the activist, whatever that bloody name was, stood up and said, "How could you do this, Andy? It's destroying the environment." And he made a very good point. He stood up and he said, "Fuck off."
Yes, took a dump right on his notes and walked out.
Yeah, good on him. Stand up for what you believe. That's what I said.
Damn right. Look at this right here. This is incredibly meta. Meta before the word meta was even really written down by anyone of any note. The idea that one would comment on one's own movies in one's own other movies is just phenomenal. I mean, it's mind-boggling in its complexity and interest. Hitchcock would never be so bold. Ford contemplated it, but, ultimately thought that it was a little bit ahead of its time. Bergman...
Uwe Boll wanted to do it. He desperately wanted to do it, but he couldn't do it because his films are actually not made with any posters.
No.
So he couldn't do it.
No. It is the lack of posters that makes it almost impossible to do it.
Oh, they've got a bit of licorice.
And here he is, Ninja Warrior himself. This is so... The training that they went through to make this movie.
Years. Not months, not weeks, not minutes. Years. You put the graft in, and it
shows on screen. It shows on screen.
Yes, it comes to fruition on the screen.
Look at the cinematographer there.
It's like Halloween with bollocks.
It is. The light coming through the slatted blinds. I haven't seen anything like that since the Maltese Falcon.
No.
Oh, she's in danger of catching that highly feathered mullet fro in those blades of the fan there. Will it happen? Won't it happen? The tension building. The
tension's always building in this film, very much so.
It's not the only thing that's building in my pants.
Nunchucks for this man. The nunchucks, of course, notoriously banned in England throughout the 70s and the 80s. But not in this movie.
No.
Strangely enough, the BBFC said, we can't cut something of pure beauty.
No.
Bloody hell, Snake's out.
I believe that was the secondary title of this movie. Bloody hell, the snake's out.
Here it is now. Very long arms, Rodholm.
Yeah.
In the freezer.
She's actually wearing condoms on her hand. Always safe.
Yes. Well, she doesn't want to impregnate her neck.
There was a spate of that in the 80s. Neck pregnancy.
Yeah. My wife had it 3 times.
It's an awful thing to go through. I send my sympathy.
Yes.
I send my sympathy.
Esophagus abortionists were rife.
Yes. Knitting needles and whiskey aplenty.
Oh, yes. Get a good coat hanger down the neck and drown it with a vodka chaser. They were dark times. Dark times, the 80s.
Dark times in the 80s.
Yes.
Dark times, very dark.
As dark as the stocking on that girl's head. Look at this. Every time I see that effect, I think it's a real snake.
He thought it was real.
Yes. Look at him. He's surprised. He's excited. I believe that Gary Cooper was considered for his role, but this guy won him out.
Well, it's plain to see why.
Rodrigo Obregon.
Excuse you.
Yeah. Oh no, look at that. He's knocked off the top of whatever that is.
In the 80s, we always kept our bins in the ground.
Buried up to the...
Because they were unsightly.
Yeah.
You never want to see where you put your rubbish. You just put it in the ground, you forget about it. Dustbinman comes, empties it, there you go.
What I like about this movie is that it's a real comment on gun violence. The fact
Andy Sidaris is not glamorising it.
No, he's showing it the way it's meant to be shown, and that is if you shoot someone in the face, they will survive. Factually accurate.
I know he spent nights at E&R waiting for people who had been shot in the face, and immediately as they came through the door, he would interview them and say, how does it feel? Do you think you'll survive? And 9 out of 10 people said no, but one person did, and that was the man who was cast in this movie, because he could handle being shot in the face.
Rodrigo Obregon.
Very much so.
Look at this. Look at Michael Caine. He doesn't phone in a performance.
No,
he
CB's in.
CB's in a performance. Oh, you stole it. Well done there, sir. Well done. Now, the filing cabinets before in the background here. Matte paintings.
This was all matte paintings, except the fan, which was a funny, functional fan.
Yes. But the matte paintings done by John Carpenter. Not John Carpenter, I'm sorry. Done by James Cameron, who was also working with John Carpenter on Escape from New York.
Yes.
Before he would go on and make Avatar, which is obviously the story about the devastating thing that happened to the Blue Cat people of South Africa.
Very much a true story, and I tell you what, that'll come out in National Geographic in the next 10 years.
Yes, it will. It will. Well, that's Cameron's just so ahead of his time.
Very much so. He's already working on Avatar 25.
Yeah.
My father was
It's Avatar is how the
Yeah.
proper pronunciation of it.
Avatar.
A apostrophe V, A with an upsilon, T, and then there's an accented W, and then another T, and then an F, and then a Q. It's Danish for get off my feet.
You hit that creep in the face with one
It
shot.
just shows Cameron's levels and depths.
Oh, he's an intelligent bastard. There's no mistaking that.
But hey, Miss Kelly.
She's got a bit of a James Bond fascination as the blonde woman.
Yes. And by the blonde woman, you mean the blonde woman that isn't the blonde woman, but the other blonde woman.
That's very much what I meant, yeah. The one with the smaller tits.
Smaller, but no less more energetic and enthusiastic.
No less bouncy.
No. And it was perfectly normal in those heady days of the mid-80s to smack waitresses' asses. They just had to take it back then. This was before feminism. No, wait a minute, it wasn't before feminism. But I think what Sidaris is trying to say is that masculinity will out. I think that's what he's trying to say, is that despite the shirt and despite the feathered hair, this man is all man.
He is all man. He is all man.
Contrary to popular belief that he's in fact an enormous whoopsie.
What's not known about this man is...
Almost everything.
He was, in fact, the highest paid gigolo of his time.
Yes.
That's why he was in the film. He would charge up to £10,000 a night for his services. And also, I do believe that the bar lady is the fittest woman ever in movie history.
She also appeared in Rambo 3. It's true.
Did.
Harold Diamond.
It's a man, is it?
No. Her name is Harold. It's, I believe it's Russian or something.
I see.
I remember when I was shot repeatedly in the face.
You survived though, didn't you?
Oh, yes, every day.
Very nice hair, not a wig.
It's because I wasn't shot in the face with bullets. That's.
No, I see. New York in the 80s, though.
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, New York anytime, really.
Hey, Jimmy John Jackson, Southern Cable Sports Network.
I like the way. This is Jimmy John Jackson, played by the irrepressible Wolf Larson. Of course, the original wish by the producers was to get Humphrey Bogart in a role, but when Larson came in, my God, he just blew them away. Wasn't a dry seat in the house. And look at what has gone down in history as the vitamin soliloquy. Was originally, I believe, based on several soliloquies that Shakespeare had tossed out.
You say toss because it's Romeo and Juliet. Everything by Shakespeare is complete pish compared to this little scene here. These actors had lines. They could not say them because they were so intrigued. You could just see it in their eyes, can't you?
Yes, intrigued as he's talking about vitamins. Apparently, you can never take too much of vitamin C. I give Andy Sidaris the benefit of the doubt, although just as a warning out there for anyone,
He's not a nutritionist by nature.
No.
He's a filmmaker, so I would implore anybody not to completely follow it.
Yes.
Just look at what he's doing. He can take all those vitamins with one sip of water.
He can.
Genius.
Well, it's the sleight of hand that he employs that's so amazing.
Her umbilical cord taps into phones.
When she was born, Harold, they looked at her and said, "My God, look at that umbilical cord. We must leave it attached." And
it was the 80s.
It was.
People were born with a technology in them.
Yes. I was born with a fully functioning Walkman up my Jap's eye. And I still have it there. Occasionally play Shawaddy Waddy on it when I get bored.
Well, I would. I would. You see, the great thing about a Walkman is it'll never go out of fashion.
No.
Diamonds or no diamonds, you're sure to be on his hit list now.
Of course, I was wrong. The woman behind the bar is not played by Harold Diamond at all. I was wrong. Harold Diamond is actually this guy here on the left-hand side with the Seagal hairdo.
Lovely fella.
I don't know who played the woman behind the bar. I didn't bother to care.
Well, after this film, I've recently found out that after this film, she grew a penis. She moved to Australia, and now does a road show telling people about her life working on this film. She can charge anything up to $5,000 a night because people still want to know.
Yes. She also has one of the largest clam collections this side of the Scilly Isles.
Yes. She puts it all in a garage, and she has people going over from New Zealand, Los Angeles, China, Skegness. They all go to see her clams.
Yes, I travelled very far to give her clam a good polishing. And I'm so glad I did, because really, when you've polished her clams, there's really nothing else. You've fulfilled life's number one objective. You actually get handed a special magical tablet made entirely of gold and told that congratulations, you've won life, and you can now just go about the rest of your days as you wish.
You don't worry about the plane falling out of the sky when you're going home, because if it does, you've achieved everything.
You have. It's like winning a very complex computer game on a Commodore 64.
Yes. Like Ghostbusters.
Yes, or one of those ones where it was all like you have walked into a dark forest, there are whelks on one side, a big boar on the other. You can either use an axe or you can walk away and see what's in the library. It's like one of those games.
Yes. Beautiful games they are.
Well, look at them right now. Beautiful, beautiful games. A pair of wonderful games like I've ever seen. I'm so glad that Andy Sidaris allowed me to put some of my holiday video into this film. The wife's perky buttocks.
Not a lot of people knew that it was actually you cameoing in this film.
Yes.
This was the trip after a recent bout with Ray Baby AIDS, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
You took her to here, which not a lot of people know, is actually in Wales.
Yes.
Lovely beach there.
Lovely.
And you just filmed this. Yes. Actually, I filmed it, didn't I?
You did, yes.
On my new camcorder.
And what's interesting is you filmed with one hand and played panpipes with the other.
Yes.
Which is tremendous.
Yeah. And I recorded that on a speak and spell.
Yeah. Oh, the out of focus at the end is such a nice touch.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I did a day at film school.
Yes, and that day lasted 34 years.
Yes.
It was a Venusian day.
I did it in dog years.
Yes. I love that. They've been up all night at it. All night.
And not a hair out of place.
Not a feathered mullet, unruffled.
And you see, he's such a gentleman. He doesn't give her a pearl necklace. He gives her a diamond necklace.
Oh, yes. The pearl necklace he screwed up and shoved up her bum.
What are you doing? I'm pretending to be a mere receptacle for Jimmy John's desires. Come on back.
What I like is that I cameoed in it and she camel-toed in it, which is always my favourite kind of thing. She really loves it in her.
Oh, she does.
That's what's remarkable about this film, is just how much she does.
She always has something up there.
Some people think that this film is sexist, and I would say, no, you've spelt that incorrectly. It's sexy.
It's sexy.
Yes.
Like the French say, on sexy.
It's sexiest, is what it is.
Yes, it's the sexiest film ever made.
Yes.
Not a lot of people realise this. With great trousers.
Comes great responsibility.
Well, that's what Andy Sidaris also said. With great trousers comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Especially if you're going to have nice trousers, always try and skateboard on your hand so you don't damage the trousers. And Andy Sidaris puts that in his movie, always.
He does.
Great trousers, skateboard on your hands, and you'll see a scene coming up where this happens.
It's one of the best scenes ever committed to celluloid. I remember when they were working on the classic All About Eve, and they said, could George Saunders do some handstanding skateboarding? And Saunders, of course, not a professional, couldn't. So instead they had to go to this chappie, and by God, what a job he does. Look at him there. Now, can you explain to me just why the blow-up doll? Because it really is... It's one of those surreal symbolist moments that David Lynch would become so well known for.
I was going to say David Lynch. You took the words right out of my mouth, because I know that he watched this. He's a big fan of this film.
An enormous fan. He has a big fan. He's such a big fan, he's an air conditioner.
Yes.
That's not my joke.
Wild of Heart is actually a template for this movie.
Oh, it's a remake. It's a straight-up remake. The
Look at
rubber
the way
doll
it goes.
standing in for William Dafoe. The guy on the skateboard is obviously Nicolas Cage. And these two guys, they're both Laura Dern in their own way. He's been shot right in the nipple. He had to have nipple reconstruction surgery after this.
Yes. And actually that happened on stage.
Look at that right there. Pyrotechnics, explosions. Just incredible.
And now, beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Beautiful. I remember when we saw that for the first time in IMAX, we wept. We bloody wept. You're not going to see that in Ben-Hur.
No. Charlton Heston wanted it in Ben-Hur. And
Charlton Heston couldn't shit that.
no, that is classic Sidaris. When the annals of film history are eventually written, probably by some chinless twat in the year 2018, there will be an enormous chapter about that and about these. And the rest of film history will be merely a footnote.
Yes.
Look at these glazed puppies right here. This is one of the reasons Jean-Claude Van Damme got into the film industry. He was so surprised that such puppies existed, he thought, well, why the bloody hell not?
This is one of the few women who doesn't actually get them out in the movie.
She doesn't need to. He was just killed by a giant snake. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. I believe that... I believe they considered a similar scene in Bridge on the River Kwai.
Absolutely. This guy here, he had a no left breast policy where he wouldn't show it.
No.
He would have to have it absolutely covered up. He didn't want to show it. The right one, fine.
There's no problem with that at all.
But this one, no, not at all.
I like the way that at this point we've got a reoccurring character in the Bike Messenger, Chappie, and we can tell it's the same guy because of the flat cap. It's just it's that kind of attention to detail you just don't get in films anymore.
Yes.
I remember when David Lean was making Bridge on the River Kwai, he said, "You know what? I'm not even going to try because I'm just never going to better this."
We're okay.
The fact that he was making the movie 30 years prior, it just shows the kind of foresight that Lean had.
Oh, Lean did. Dr. Zhivago.
Yes. Well, he knew too. In fact, Dr. Zhivago had written to David Lean and said, "You know what? Don't bother."
Make a film about my life, but it'll never be as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
No.
And David Lean says, give me 2 good reasons why. And David Lean said, have a look at
this scene right here.
There you go.
There you go. Look at that. Omar Sharif couldn't better that. No matter
Well, that's what David Lean said. That's how he got the inspiration to cast Omar Sharif, because he saw that scene. He went, Omar Sharif, and he said, would be good for Dr. Zhivago.
I believe that her camel toe in this scene was inspiration to make Lawrence of Arabia.
They're the same jeans that Steven Seagal wore for Hard to Kill.
It's true. It's because any movie that has the word hard in the title has to feature extraordinarily difficult to put on jeans.
Lovely car as well.
Oh, beautiful car.
Classic.
Oh, it's one of the best. It was first considered for Inspector Morse to use, but they went for the Jaguar.
Yeah, especially the ones with 4 wheels, 1 on each corner.
Oh, it's such a good design, such originality. I knocked it off to this woman 4 times before I suddenly realised it was a man in drag. It was the sweater, I think. It's just the vibrancy of colour and the diversity is incredible. Oh, she could have had my eye out with that.
Body and mind.
I think we should just be quiet during this scene. The acting on display, nipples on display are just phenomenal. I like the way that the wicker furniture complements her buttocks. She's a bald lady, a circus freak. I was still rubbing one out to her even when that was revealed.
That's the moment I instantly came.
Yeah. I like the way that he really signals the reveal. He doesn't. It's not just one reveal. Oh God, good God, it's a bald man.
No. I was still convinced it was a woman.
Well, look at the face.
She's still quite stunning, really.
Oh, even in the suit, I'd give her one.
She's on her way to the hospital. Take the back road and cut her off.
And that, of course, was the wonderful performance by none other than Ed Harris. Cameoing here. For free, he waived his fee to appear in a Sidaris film.
A lot of people did. Michael Caine certainly did.
Michael Caine doesn't even have a fee in the 80s. Michael Caine just turns up in any old thing. Of course, every so often you get a classic, this, Jaws 4, Without a Clue. But, and then other times you get, mediocre things like Sidehouse Rules.
Yeah. He started some bloody awful flicks over the years. Get Carter. What was that all about? He was wasting his time when Sidaris was saying to Michael Caine, "Come and star in one of my movies." But Michael Caine had it in his head that making a film about a Newcastle gangster was worth his time, but it wasn't. It wasn't until he got to Hard Ticket to Hawaii that he said, "I've been wasting my life, haven't I?"
Yes.
And Sidaris says, "I'm afraid so, Michael. You're a bit of a tit."
I think he was like, you know what, if I can do this and blame it on Rio, then I'll be okay. They'll have something to write about me in the future.
Well, that's his standout movie, isn't it? Blame It on Rio.
Of course, he said, what he actually said was, you know what, if I do Hard Ticket to Hawaii with Andy Sidaris, and if I do Blame It on Rio, then I'll be bloody set, and I'll be known as the best bloody actor that Britain has ever produced. However, if I go on doing shit like the Ipcris file, then nobody will ever know who I am. So I said goodbye to the man who would be king and other such crap, and instead did the wonderful and the exciting Beyond the Poseidon adventure. the intriguing and beautiful Water at Half Moon Street, where I played Lord Sam Bulbeck. And I also finished up the decade with the beautiful A Shock to the System, which, of course, is a double bill with Mr. Destiny, where I starred alongside premium American actor and Oscar winner of the day, James Belushi.
Wise choices all around.
And
it's those sort of decisions that can define a career.
yes, and that was a clip from a specially produced interview with Michael Caine by the British Film Institute in 1995.
That's on YouTube. I suggest you look it up. It's quite remarkable to hear him speak with such honesty and frankness about the shit he's made over the years, the Prestige, the
Yes.
Dark Knight. You know, those films he just did for the moolah.
Right, exactly. You know, when you think of Caine, you're more likely, I think, going to think of Noises Off than you are going to think of Zulu or one of those lesser efforts.
Yeah, one of those that he turned up,
Right.
bloody phoned in. You know,
Yes.
it was this movie because, like I say, he was on set now. He was in the tree. He was in the tree watching that.
What I like is that it's actually government issue to, if you're going to be an undercover agent, wear a bikini.
Yes, they are. They're
And
wearing bikinis because they're...
this movie
Yeah.
was so rigorously researched that they had to sell the offices in which they were doing the rigorous research because the entire floor was glazed in ejaculate.
Oh, yeah. You can see why.
Much as these men are. Look at these two. Glazed from head to toe in the willful expulsion of bodily fluids.
Love juice.
Love juice, as the wonderful director John Ford called it.
Yeah. Spunky love this.
Which was the subtitle of that wonderful, wonderful film starring Betty Hutton and Rosalind Russell, His Girl Friday.
Yes, that was a hell of a movie, that was. I do enjoy that movie. Directed by Abel Ferrara.
Yes. Well, I remember, of course, Witness for the Prosecution, that wonderful movie from the early 1930s, in which Marlene Dietrich did her own cover version of Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yes. That was a movie.
It is a movie. We're watching it right now.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's got a Jeep in it.
And everything. When you look at this, you look at it and you go, you know what, it is a movie. If ever there was a movie, it's this. You can't deny up and down, left and right, whichever which way you spin it. It's a movie.
It's a movie. Because it's moving images, you see.
Yes, it is. It's lots of still photographs put together and run through a blender. There it is in the snake. Oh, good God, it's in the grass. Look out, ladies. Yes, that would be terrible if one of them got a tit bitten off or something.
Yes.
Now, this is also in the DEA guidebook. If you find a dead body on a beach in Hawaii, and if you know full well that it was just a honeymooning chap, but if you know that he was killed by a snake, just leave him there. Don't any more bother to deal with the body. Don't call any relatives. Don't bother to have the body shipped back to the mainland.
Just push it in the water. Just push it in the water.
Just leave it in the bushes. Don't even move it down to the water. Who cares? That's a bloody good photograph of the snake. You know what? He might have died, but you can put that in a fucking gallery.
Yeah. Tony Hart had it in his gallery.
Tony Hart's had lots of things up his gallery.
Yeah.
Look out, ladies.
Trouser snakes.
Yes.
One. This is Jimmy John Jackson.
Even Andy Sidaris filming while he's filming. you see. He's talking to Hightower from Police Academy and Michael Jackson. Yeah?
Yes.
Got them in the movies. Hightower on the left there. Fresh off of Mission to Moscow.
Michael Winslow in the middle. He's about to do some of his famous sounds, I believe, coming up now.
Yes.
Now, this is kind of a risque joke. This is kind of an on-the-edge kind of joke. It's the sort of risk-taking that Sidaris is known for.
All I said was, niggas go deep.
He busts forth the N-word, nincompoop, and he says the MF word, mother fudster, and the crowd go wild. Just listen to them.
Your future is behind you, baby. Hey, can't win them all. Hey, beautiful.
How this guy didn't get his own sitcom, I've no idea.
Well, like I say, he was making so much money from being a gigolo.
Yes. And for taking dumps on old ladies for $50.
Yes. Something we've all done.
I've done more than once.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you? They love it. Dirty old slags.
I believe Carol Reed watched this when she was scoping out The Third Man.
Yes.
And
Hey, nice outfit.
Roger Moore actually auditioned for this fella on the left, but he was actually committed to Bullseye with Michael Caine. Couldn't turn it down.
he was also considered too young and too in shape.
Yes.
So they cast this guy instead.
Yes.
Little Petro won't hurt that car either.
Also, he knows how to wear white trousers, and that was Andy Sidaris' one request for the role. Can you wear white trousers and not spill any gravy on them? As soon as he said, I wouldn't spill any gravy on them, Sidaris knew he had his man.
But what Sidaris didn't know is that he didn't even like gravy.
He didn't like gravy, but he bloody loved chocolate.
Yes.
On the final day of filming, he was having a packet of chocolate buttons, and he got a little mark just round the back. Luckily, Andy Sidaris didn't realise. That's a bit of trivia for you.
It's wonderful. Don't you hate that when you sit on just a tiny flake of chocolate, but because of the heat generated by your anus and the general smushing about quality that one has with one's buttocks in a chair, it smears the chocolate all over you and you look like a bloody fool.
Yes, it's awful. But we've all done it, haven't we?
I did it before I was knighted. I did it when I appeared on Blankety Blank. I did it when I met Prince for the first time. I did it today. I did it with Sidney Lumet in a brothel.
Honestly?
I've never done it. It's usually poo.
Now look at this jacket this guy's wearing, and the shirts.
Savile Row, you see. That's Savile Row.
I have to. The quality of costuming in this film is just phenomenal, just fantastic. I have a shirt very much like that. Unfortunately, it wore around the armpits, and I cut it up and made it into pan scrubs. But I still weep.
I would.
Frequently.
Come on,
She's in.
Oh, she's going to be in a minute.
I think she still needs an...
Now, I have a setup very much the same in my dungeon, a basement. What about you, sir?
I've definitely got one of these set up, and I have a big fella who actually pulls my arms up. Yes.
Pulls your arms up? Oh, you tie yourself up, do you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I tie myself. Well, he does it, really.
Right.
Nothing sexually.
No.
He just ties me up, and I sit there, and randomly he'll come in and just keep yanking my arms up.
Nice.
I like to stay in shape.
Yes.
You know, when you get to our age, you have to stay in shape, and he's my trainer.
You learnt it when you saw that other Oscar contender, Over the Top.
Yes.
When that was on of course, Carol Lombard, Jack Benny starred in that, and of course Keenan Wynn.
Yes. It was a marvellous film, Over the Top, also made in the same year as this. I know Stallone was very worried at the time of being released at the cinema that that they would clash. So they moved Over the Top to February the 14th, Valentine's Day.
And they didn't release Hard Ticket to Hawaii in the cinemas because it was too good.
Yes, there was an underground movement that if you were in the know, you would get a ticket, but it would cost you $1 million.
Yes. Now, what I like about this is Andy Sidaris shows throughout the whole movie every use of nunchucks possible, except the ones they were actually developed for.
Yes.
Which is revolutionary. You see her swinging about them on the beach. You see her training with them. They use them to hit people about the head with while clasped together like a kosh or a baton. But, yeah, you never see them actually used as nunchucks. So that's incredible.
Well, unfortunately, he didn't know that that's what they were for. It's the only thing that he didn't know they were for. He didn't know they were a weapon, as was using them in a chain-like movement. He didn't know how to do that.
No, he thought they were novelty earrings. I remember him wearing them to the gala performance in front of Her Royal Highness the Princess of Margaret, and
he was more a fan of fisting.
Yes,
people in the face. You see.
Yes. Look at this bit right here. It's just about to... Now, he had difficulty with that knot. They had to film this scene several times because she'd really gone to town with it. She'd
learned our stuff in the Girl Guide.
She was a Girl Guide, but she was also a sailor and also a knot fetishist of some note.
I had a good feel then. Did you see that?
Yeah, I had a good feel just then too. I was alone. No, she begged Sidaris to demonstrate her knot prowess.
She actually tied her up, didn't she?
She did. And she tied up that lady's hair. Well, if you could call her a lady. Sort of bi-gender abnormality. Sort of a flat-chested, muscular type. Not my sort, I have to say. I like a bit more pudding after my meat, if you know what I'm saying. This is the tit-wank scene, which is known around the world to have been very influential on Charlie Chaplin and Billy Wilder.
Oh, they loved a good tit-wank.
Yeah. His shouts of joy and exclamation.
Were real.
Well, method acting at its finest.
Yes. He actually imagined that his erect penis was in between her breasts.
Yeah. What's incredible is in the uncut version of this scene, she's got a handful of asparagus shoved up her ass crack. And for any lucky people watching the uncut version at home, my God. It just shows Andy Sidaris' genius when it comes to the filming of sexual congress between a woman and whatever this thing is.
Baboon, I think. Yeah. I think it's... I do believe that...
What people don't know is, of course, the chin is an erogenous zone. A massive one.
Yes, and the right side of your jawline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anywhere around the chin, really. Just keep lipping the chin, and my God, you'll be taking her to heaven and back.
Bruce Forsyth loves it.
Yeah. But if you accidentally brush past Bruce Forsyth's chin at a charity event or in a shopping mall, he ejaculates instantly.
Yes, that's why I always brush up against him at our local Asda, you see, because I like to see the look of disgust on his own face of what he's done.
That's why if you ever see Bruce Forsyth out and about, he keeps an ice cream tub tied around his waist with old rope.
And sells it off as Bruce's good stuff. Cream. I bought pots of the stuff. It's delicious. It really is. It's very nice.
He doesn't add any artificial flavouring.
No. Tastes like tuna.
You'd think tuna ice cream would be bloody horrible, but
it's a delicacy in Singapore.
And Ceylon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Richard Burton auditioned for this role, but you had with the likes of people like
this guy,
Bromelo, waiting in the wings. You can't really.
You can't compete.
No.
You can't compete with him.
Look at the phone. Look at the phone he has. It's went in Sotheby's for 14 pence, old money.
Which in our money today is at least
£750,000.
Absolutely, and it still works as well.
Yes. Just like all the weaponry and clothing in this film. He's got a flare gun there, not afraid to experiment.
Yeah, she's got a potato gun.
Yeah, he's attaching a large dildo to the end of his gun so that he can shoulder fuck himself while shooting. This guy is sellotaping razor blades to a frisbee, which we've all done.
I think this little fellow's ready.
Haven't we?
Oh yeah, it's the only way to frisbee.
Tomorrow we kick ass. Take me.
That turns out that's actually the original man who was to star in Knight Rider. But as soon as Sidaris called and said, we want you to be in Hard Ticket to Hawaii, he said, go and get some other bloke, David Hasselhoff or something.
Yes.
And he immediately flew out to Hawaii to star in this movie, and it was the right decision.
It was. I mean, if you see the list of people who were meant to be in this film, I mean, it's remarkable. It's literally, 1,500 pages long. Everyone from Dustin Hoffman to Pee Wee Herman auditioned for this role.
Gene Hackman was up for the role of this guy as well.
The one in the pink bikini.
Yes, Gene Hackman desperately wanted. He fought for the role.
Nobody actually fought for it. He glazed himself up, worked out for 5 weeks, and erected a boxing ring in the back of his garden. And he fought Lou Ferrigno for 7 days.
7 days. And John Hurt as well stepped in on the 4th day. And
Well,
said,
they're a tag team.
They were a tag team, but they couldn't take Ferrigno down.
Hey, lighten up. We're just throwing.
What's remarkable is they didn't bother to get a peach frisbee. Instead, they did a black one.
Yes.
Which, look at that. Look at that skill. He caught it, and then he flipped it under his leg.
He does it again.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. It's like Cirque du Soleil. I've never seen...
Once he puts the gun down, that is it. He's up for frisbee.
Yeah, he is. It's the international sign. Whenever I'm in a park carrying my machine gun, you know I'm up for frisbee if I put it down.
Hey, Colleen. Got a great ass.
So do you, Pilgrim.
He just told Colleen she has a great ass. One of the best lines of dialogue since...
And ad-libbed. It wasn't in the script.
It wasn't, no. Alan Bennett couldn't write better. Now he's substituted it for a black frisbee. But a black frisbee without razor blades. Now he's substituting it for a third frisbee with razor blades. The tension is absolutely palpable at this point in the
This is
film.
what is going to happen. We know.
Slow
We've seen
motion. It has to be in slow motion. Look at this, coming up now. 1, 2, 3. Right in your hand and your neck. Look at that. Not afraid to show the reality of war. Because in the future, when war is waged, it will be waged by a man with a razor-bladed frisbee, a Hawaiian shirt, and a blue bathing suit showing off his cock.
It's how we'd fight the Nazis right now if we could. That's what we'd do. That's how we would have done it.
It's how I fight them every day.
Razor-bladed frisbee. That's
Every
the future.
day of my life, I'm still fighting them in my dreams. My arsehole-flavoured dreams. Listen to the soundtrack now.
Bloody going for it. And she's spent 25 years learning how to fly one of these.
Oh, 2/3 of the budget went on microlight training.
It's all here. It's like Terrahawks.
It's a lot like Jerry Anderson's Terry Hawks. He's got a 4-barreled gun. His nipples are healing, hopefully, by this point in the film.
He's put his hair in a bun.
And
That's why they're at the sumo school, to find out how you put a hair in a bun.
She's got some specially grown exploding avocado, and she's dropping them miles away from the trucks.
And they're not making big blasts. They're not big blast bombs.
No one's being damaged by them. It looks like a gopher did a fart. Dust goes in the air. Look at that. He can only hit wine glasses.
Damn good at it, though.
Oh, he's amazing at wine glasses. Are you kidding me? It's because he practiced all day on his dad's ranch. That's all they had about.
Nobody knows. Nobody actually knows. Live rounds used, because they were such experts. Obviously, that wasn't. That was a rather good squib. But everything else, real bullets to give you the full effect, because they were marksmen. They were trained for 50 years in the army.
That's the best death scene I've seen since Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
Listen to the music. Driving, pulsating, exciting. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've stopped sitting down. I'm now standing up. I can't sit down for this last bit because it's just so riveting. Will she get out of the microlight safely? Will she be able to undo the buckles? Who knows? Yes, she's managed it. Wonderful. Almost caught her foot there, but she's fine.
She's a professional.
Thank God she existed. There he is, Ed Harris.
Like a shiny horseshoe ring.
That is...
I have two myself.
Ed Harris said that he only ever did 2 action films in his life, Hard Ticket to Hawaii and The Rock, and he preferred this one.
Of course he did. Of course he did. He got all the plaudits for this one.
Yes, he did, and all the titwanks. You couldn't move for titwanks on the set of Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
It was LA in the 80s.
They were handed out like donuts at a craft service table.
Life's a bitch, and then you die.
Look at this guy. Who knew that 4 months at dance training camp could prepare him for this? The fight of his life.
All real, like on back. Full realistic, full contact fighting.
Well, it's better
the
than
Raid was based on this movie.
It's better than Ong Bang.
Especially that bit.
Yeah, where she guns him down and he gets
Peachtree sauce all over it.
Bloody messy with his jam. That's his trouble.
I'm enthralled by this fight. I really am. I cannot move. And I've seen this film thousands of times.
Well, it's required viewing in the Bangkok Film School that you attended. Oh no, he's broken the bracelet his mother gave him. This means he's going to kill him with even more force than he was going to kill him already before.
He's very angry now. You can see it in his ponytail.
Because he was going to kill him before. That was always his intention. But now he's going to kill him twice as much.
And that's never good.
No. It's one thing to die. It's one thing to die twice as much as you were going to die originally. Some look at these claw dusters as cheating. I look at it as just God's vengeance.
I see it as, if cats have got claws,
why not humans?
Why can't men with ponytails?
Right, why not talons of the Nancy? You would think that a rocket launcher would do more damage than that to a paper wall, but no. Just does the right amount of damage.
It's got different settings on it, and it's very good paper. It was at least 4-ply.
We've missed my favourite line in the movie, sadly, which is one man's dream is another man's lunch.
That is true.
But that's my second favourite line that he just said. He said, kinky sex, I'll go get the midget and the whips. It's almost like I wrote the film.
You did write the film. You certainly wrote that scene, didn't you?
But if I was writing that scene, I wouldn't even have him untie her. I would actually have him bring in midgets and whips and just go the full fucking hog with it. You know.
Wait.
You look at some of the works of the finest foreign film directors, and they just don't come close.
No. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Lars van Trier.
Well, Lars van Trier could not even come close. Of course, Kurosawa, Leone, Renoir, Fellini, Godard, Buñuel.
Very much fans of this film. Good, the Bad and the Ugly was inspired by it. Absolutely inspired by this movie.
Well,
Lee Van Cleef apparently had it on all the time in his trailer.
Antonioni spent many years with midgets and whips, just finding he couldn't get them into his films, and he was like, I've got to somehow get them into my films. He just never managed it before dying tragically of too much pasta. It's a true story. What I like here is you think it's the climax of the film. You think it. You think it, but there's so much more.
Pull the curtain down. We're done. There's nothing left to see here.
If Polanski had taken a go at it, this is where it would have finished. But no. Sidaris, so much better than Bertolucci.
He has another trick up his sweaty sleeve, doesn't he?
He does. Oh, and his sleeves are some of the sweatiest in show business.
But it's because he's so hard-working.
Yes. Whereas if you notice in this scene, he makes sure that at least 3 of the people don't have sleeves.
Because while that's all going on and it's all terribly exciting, there's gunplay, talk of midgets and whips. We've still not had the conclusion to the snake.
No, what has happened to the snake? And it reminds me that there are so many layers and levels to this film. Is it a comedy? Is it a monster movie? Is it an action film? Is it an erotic adventure into the seedy side of sexuality? Is it, I don't know, an examination of Nazi war atrocities? Is it somehow underlying really a parable about how the Wizard of Oz affected him as a child? Who knows?
It's what I call a great movie onion. As soon as you take off one layer,
you start crying.
You start crying.
Yes.
And you find another layer.
Yes.
That's what I find.
And then you weep some more.
You weep some more because it's so bloody good.
Or lactate, whichever your preference.
Yeah, so we don't mind. We don't mind breastfeeding at all on the show.
No.
I have 2 breastfeeders with me at the minute.
Now, this scene reminds me of the wonderful work of Tarkovsky and Lubitsch. Of course, when their films premiered at the Venice Film Festival, words of plagiarism and copycat of Sidaris' work were bandied about. Of course, Tarkovsky said it's not plagiarism, it's homage.
Homage, of course it is.
Yes. Now, I don't know about you.
This for Cape Fear.
And, of course, John Carpenter stole it preemptively 6 years earlier with Halloween.
Yes.
But unfortunately, by the time they got here, they had worked out how to make cupboard doors so much better, so it takes them considerably longer than...
But he has got a toothpick.
Yes.
That's what you've got to realise.
I think he got the point.
Great acting.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Ooh.
He loved playing a musical instrument for her vagina. That's why he was harpooned. And that joke doesn't make any sense.
The greatest joke ever, I think. So in the 80s,
oh, look, a photograph of Donald Pleasance. He broke it, damn right. That was a limited edition lithograph of Pleasance. He's not dead, though. He's not dead.
Well, it's a trope of 80s movies, isn't it?
It's a twist.
Shoot the fucker in the head. You have to.
And this guy's been driving all night. 1 tank of petrol. Luckily, he's got a bike that allows him to clip his bazookoid onto the front of it.
Standard issue.
Visconti could never have imagined the powerful nature of the climax of this movie. The scene where she dribbles frozen water all over her clammy breasts. And the killer that just won't die. I mean, it's almost a metaphor for life itself.
I think it is. I think it's a truly biblical epic of a movie.
Sir Jason of the Statham, of course, used the cutting your own hand with the villain's knife scene in Parker, his classic of 2013.
Jason Statham has also cited that he would be nothing without this movie.
He said that earlier when he was with Kelly Brook, they would often watch this to become violently aroused, and you couldn't move for shrimp sauce in their apartment.
I can believe it. I saw an interview with Prince Charles and Camilla saying exactly the same thing.
Camilla Parker Hull. Yes. She's incredible.
Lovely toilet as well.
It's one of the best toilets on screen ever. So you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't touch a toilet and then put your hand to your mouth.
I do like it when your toilet matches your vest top.
Yes. But you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't touch a toilet and then clasp your mouth like that. It's just germs. But wait a minute. Oh, who knew? The toilet is going to explode with snake power. The power of the snake makes the toilet explode. I remember doing a very similar prank when I was at a fraternity for a summer. I was studying damp breasts and their usage as child learning devices in the 14th century at Harvard. And they put snakes in the toilets every spring, blew them up. Is it a snake? Is it 2 snakes? No, it's a mirror. It's a mirror, and the power of that is not lost on me. It was lost on Charlton Heston, but not on me. Now, of course, here's the infamous scene where the snake goes along all the makeup. It's a powerful statement on testing makeup on animals. And feminism.
Should snakes be made up in movies? Well, of course they should.
Yes. I also believe it's about animal testing.
I think you could be right. I think you could be onto something.
Should we be putting lipstick on snakes? Yes.
Yes, if it makes them prettier and they want to. If it's a snake's right.
It's every snake's right. Yes, it's every snake's right to wear low tops without people commenting routinely on their breasts.
And if a gay man wants to marry a snake, he should be allowed to. It's a free world.
A gay snake.
A gay snake, yes.
Yes. Which I think believe 50% of snakes are gay.
Yes.
Her gun can only shoot little bits off a face. It can't shoot a whole face. This gun, on the other hand, is specifically designed for whole faces. You'd think a gun this big and powerful would destroy a whole building, but no, it targets only the face, destroys it instantly.
Well, if it's got a snake setting on it, then yes.
My circumcision was done much the same way. It's
just got rid of the teeth, yes.
Yeah, it stung a bit, but by God, was it worth it afterwards?
Oh, you have a very clean bell end.
Oh, the cleanest. Celia Imrie is often quoted as respecting it as a work of art. I wouldn't mind giving it to Celia Imrie. Even now.
Why not?
That
The day is young.
That wearing knuckle dusters is a surefire way to heal a cut-up hand. They prescribe it in Burma.
Okay, folks, we got one more stop on this tour.
I'm so glad that they leave no turn unstoned, and that they really do just make sure that they get every single droplet of power and passion out of this film.
When you're filming a classic, an epic like this...
You never want it to end.
No. And Andy Sidaris wanted to end it straight after the snake scene, but he realised there was so much more he could do and just carried on. They didn't even get paid for this.
No, there's more to say. There's so often more to say. It's like Once Upon a Time in the West, or, To Kill a Mockingbird. There's so often so much more to be written in, like what will happen with the people with the matching bright green shirts, and where do I find a pantsuit that arousing?
Yes, she looks lovely, doesn't she? She's a picture of loveliness.
One could even say that before her tragic death, Princess Diana was a fan. Here he is, Meatloaf. Looking a lot better back in those days, of course, before he...
Nobody realised he was bald.
Before he ate all those cheeses. She's giving him back the nunchucks. He's not going to use them as nunchucks. He's just going to keep hitting them with them.
Bloody going for it.
It's because he had an Asian friend at high school that he knows exactly how to do this kind of thing.
They couldn't get this scene right, and the Meatloaf said to me, he says, "Don't hold back."
Yeah, really kill me.
Really,
in the face.
Kill me in the face, department.
And what's funny is she said, "Look, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that." And he went, "Hold it!" And he immediately ran away, produced one of the greatest works of musical history in all time.
Yes, it's not as good as Hard Ticket to Hawaii, the song, but it's certainly good.
Now, you can tell the way that Bromelo handles a sword that he's an old master. Look at it. That's what they're used for. That's exactly what samurai swords are meant for.
Well, that's where Kurosawa got the samurai idea from. How Bromelo shows his sword, shows his skill, and Bromelo wouldn't work for Kurosawa.
Seagal was heard to say, "Now that's what a martial artist looks like, Johnny." Because, of course, he's very dismissive of most martial artists. Bromelo,
every martial art.
Almost
Steven
everything.
Seagal believes in no martial arts.
Apart from his own.
Yes, the only thing he believes in is martial aids.
Mm-hmm.
Loves a vibrator and anal beads.
And here we are, the wonderful wrap-up to a spanktific movie.
They have a bloody good key party now.
What happened to the woman who was dressed as a man, or the man who was dressed as a woman, or whatever, which way? I get so confused because I'm so often erect. All the blood goes to my
She was
penis.
shot in the tits.
Was she?
Mm.
Look at this acting.
Splendiferous.
Yes.
That's a word I made up to simply say the greatness on show here.
Well, it was because they had a master trainer. The acting coach on this film was Bernard Cribbins. And he's, of course, known for his realism and grit.
Yes. Kenneth Williams was also on set.
Breslaw came down
yes.
for a day.
Sid James.
Oh, the whole carry-on crowd was there.
Yeah. Charles Hawtrey.
Hattie Jakes ate a horse. Look at this right now. Not content to have the wonderful opening credit sequence. Look at the vibrancy of this final credit sequence. Look at it. Look at the pair of them. Just incredible. Who would have thought that crates interspersed with your favorite moments from the film could be so powerful?
I remember seeing this in the Chinese theatre in Los Angeles, and right about now, everybody was on their hands on their feet, clapping away like morons.
Yes.
For the next 2 hours, they clapped.
Yes.
Absolutely, it was. I'll never forget it. It was one of the greatest moments of my life, and my kids' life, and their kids' life.
The conceptual creature design was done by Frederick Luff.
Wonderful man.
Luffy.
Wonderful man.
Old Luffy. I remember having drinks with Luffy and discussing his prosthetic snake work. Look at that. Look at the skateboarding. Skateboard stunts by Russell Howard. You thought you'd seen the last of him, but oh no, Sidaris gives you another peek. Just wonderful. Just wonderful. Another peek, right? Two other peaks right there. Just wonderful. Just splendid. Words don't describe it. I almost feel like just being quiet at this point, because I feel like, you know what, you just can't encapsulate a film with this much power,
I think
passion,
it'd be wrong to.
And success with mere words. Now, what does a hard ticket to Hawaii look like? Would that be made out of ceramics or plastics or what? I mean, you know, is it a gold ticket? Is it I've got a golden ticket? Is that what it is?
I think it has something to do with that, yes.
Or is it iron or steel? There he is. He's still riding that bike to this very day.
He loved that bike. He took it home when filming was completed. That was his paycheck, was that bike.
But because he couldn't stop riding it, he passed his home straight by and ended up in Montana, where he just drives round and round in circles now, throwing up every occasion.
I've always said, if that's the way you want to live your life, live and let live. It's fine. Just do it if you enjoy it.
What does the cat mean at the end? Have you ever?
It means there was a lot of tits in this film, but now you finally got a pussy.
Nice.
That's what it means.
I've been waiting years to have that mystery untangled for me.
Andy Sidaris told me, very drunk he was, and he told me while we were absolutely pissed up on schnapps.
It was you, Alec Guinness, Gregory Peck. All of you had boners.
And Martha Stewart.
Yes. And it really was just one of those occasions where, you just have to gangbang an otter.
If you have to, you have to. It's quite simple, really.
Yeah.
Needs must. The needs of the otter outweigh the needs of the few.
That's true.
Yes, it is very true.
I'm just looking down here now. Looking down here at the wonderful cast and crew of this splendid movie. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, that was a splendid time. I'm so glad we could share that with the viewing and listening public.
I can't wait till the next Andy Sidaris movie.
When is that coming out?
That I have no idea. Whenever once I've cleared that, I always find after an Andy Sidaris movie, I need a few days to recuperate.
I need to take a long shower.
I do.
I need to soap up my crevices and go to town like a bloody rhino for sometimes days and nights on end.
Yes, it's the way they make you feel.
I keep the neighbours awake. I ruined the foundation of the property that I'm living in at the moment. I've taken down several doors. In fact, my wife said at the time she was very upset because she loved our separate kitchen, but after one of my sessions I knocked it through and made it one big room, and now she's more than happy. The less walls and doors I have to destroy in the process of my extreme self-love making, the better.
Well, I always think if you can knock a wall down, that saves putting a picture up.
Yes, it does. I believe Rustam Bananaman said the same thing. Of course, he played Chemo in this movie. A very beautiful and warm performance.
He's a true star of the silver screen.
He starred in that wonderful movie, Headless Body in a Topless Bar, in 1995. Was also Agent Danbury in Iron Man 3. That's a true story. So the guy who was in this movie was also in Iron Man 3. How the mighty have fallen, some may say.
And what was his name again?
He was Agent Danbury.
Agent Danbury.
In Iron Man 3. He played Vic Palmieri in Headless Body in a Topless Bar. And that's Rustam Bananaman, who was, I think, maybe cast in Iron Man 3 because he has a superhero's name. Because he's a superhero who wears a bra and throws bananas at people. So they know him as Banana Man.
Lovely man as well. I am a fan of his work.
Well, who isn't? If you're not a fan of his work, you don't have eyes.
You're an absolute tit.
Yes. Well, I'm spent. Well and truly spent.
I am. I've got a busy day tomorrow, and I've got to go and dust myself down after watching that.
Of course, you've got to go and powder your trouser nose and get it done, as they say. So, but I hope everyone's enjoyed that. I hope that's a exciting commentary for that film, and I look forward to meeting up and doing this again, sir.
Absolutely. It's been a joy.
Oh, it's been more than a joy. It's been a joy and a half. It's been 2 joys and a half pleasantry.
And a half a Betty.
It's been at least a full Betty.
At least.
Second Unit Podcast Men. The podcast you've just been listening to is part of the Second Unit Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at 2upn.blogspot.com or on Facebook under the Second Unit Podcast Network. Our fantastic list of shows include Drunk on VHS, We Came from the Basement, No Budget Nightmares, The After Movie Diner, Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid, and Bloodbaths and Boomsticks. Take one podcast into the shower. Don't be a blithering idiot, Alan. We can give you the multiple podcast cleansing system all in one place that your hair deserves. Our programming is available across all platforms, from iTunes to Podomatic, TalkShoe to Stitcher, so you have absolutely no excuse. Listen today, and a free naked person of your choice will be shipped from Thailand to your door in a matter of weeks. The Second Unit Podcast Network, bringing you the action and leaving the boring stuff to the other guys. Bloody hell. Who does a girl have to blow around here to get a decent beverage?